Chat. Rachel Papazoni is here now with the business news. Now, Rachel, gender targets are the aim of many Australian companies at the moment. How are they faring?
Well, if you look at the top 200 publicly listed companies in Australia, not so well, Kirsten. Analysis of the makeup of those companies shows the percentage of women is still below targets and way below equality. Ahead of International Women's Day, which is tomorrow, workplace advisor Conrad Liveris has released his annual Gender Equality at Work report. It's found women make up 26.2% of ASX 200 board directors, while it's the highest rate ever. To reach a 30% target, another 63 more directorships are needed to be held by women. Based on the previous 3-year appointment cycle, the target could be met this year, with another 69 women likely to be appointed by the end of 2018. Well, let's get more on Conrad Liveris's report. He joins us now live from our Perth studios. Thanks for your time this afternoon, Conrad.
Hi, Rachel.
How did you get to your projected figure of 30% of women on ASX boards by December this year?
Yeah, so listed companies typically elect their directors on a 3-year cycle, and so over that 3-year period you get an understanding of what's really going on and the projections and the interests of companies when they put people forward for directorships. So based on that, I took an average of what was happening in the past 3 years and worked out, did a projection based on that. And so, like you said, about 69 women will probably be appointed this year based on the previous 3 years. And so, yes, the 30% target that has been instituted for the ASX 200 could be met this year. It will be pretty tight. It will be in December if it happens.
30% obviously is nice. I've got to be honest, 50% would be better. Will we ever get to that balance?
Yeah, so this is one of the really challenging issues facing corporate Australia, is that, you know, obviously women make up 50% of the population and they control a lot of household spending. So it's kind of odd that they're not reflected in management and senior roles. So one of the issues is the pipeline. And so women accessing more senior roles, such as executive roles, are typically segmented away from business units. So they don't really run the cash register of the organisation, so the incoming money. They're typically focused in HR, law or marketing sort of based roles.
Conrad, you found, or you've also expressed in your report, that for the last 32 years, most of the graduates from university have been women. What's happening then once they graduate? Why aren't we seeing those numbers reflected as women progress through their careers?
Yeah, so what happens when women enter the workforce, and they are the preferred employee as well. They're the majority of graduate employees. So, but that first management role is actually given to men. Now, when women enter the workforce, they typically go into 2 main fields. It's either in professional roles or sales roles. So they're kind of organisational wide roles, and so they're actually really good training grounds for management. But men are typically in technical roles. And those sort of roles happen to be preferred for management roles, even though it doesn't make that much sense, to be completely honest, to take someone who is a technical specialist and put them into management. That's not a great record for success. So these women are really missing out at that early stage, which is really, that's quite concerning and would have an impact on performance.
We've seen a big groundswell in the last few months about women fighting back against different treatments, sexual harassment. Have we seen any development on that front in the workforce?
Yeah, so over the past 5 years, there's been an increase in sexual harassment, which is overall, that's very concerning. If there is a bright light in all of this, it is that part of this is actually related to the reporting. And so that's telling us that there's a greater knowledge and awareness around what sexual harassment really is, and that even low-level forms of sexual harassment, such as, you know, comments in passing, actually do have an impact and do matter. One of the really interesting parts of sexual harassment in Australia, though, is that it doesn't discriminate on income. the lowest paid women and the highest paid women and everyone in between have a almost equal share of sexual harassment, which is always very unfortunate. Sexual harassment shouldn't exist, but it does show that how wide and pervasive it is.
Conrad Liveris, live from Perth. Thanks so much for taking us through your report.